What up, crew? Let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can hear me. Happy Wednesday. What's up, Herm? How are you? What's up, Jen? What's up, Pollard? Jesse, Deborah, Michelle. How you guys doing? What's up, Shelly? What's up, Pat? What's up, Mona? All right. We are live. Let me know if you guys can see me and hear me, and we are going to get right into it. Let me get Instagram here in the house. Instagram, what's going on? We are live. Sweet. We're good. Everybody can see me, hear me? All right, so what we're going to do today, okay? A little bit different than our normal. Instead of just making stuff, I wanted to just kind of go over some different cut settings and different things like that. So Instagram, I'm just hopping on here for a minute with you guys just to let you know what we're doing, but you need to head over to YouTube if you want to see everything, okay? And then I'll hop on TikTok for a minute to do the same thing, all right? So here's the deal. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, and I'm going to purposely try to make some to where they don't cut right as well, because I want you guys to see kind of what basically everybody goes through when they're trying to find their different cut settings for different materials. So I'm going to use some thinner adhesive vinyl. I'm going to use Magic Flock. I'm going to use some of the mermaid vinyl. I'm going to use some of the texture glitter vinyl, some of the new regular vinyl, the reflective vinyl, and we're just going to run through a bunch of different cut settings and then show you how in Silhouette Studio and in Cricut Design Space how to set those different settings so you don't have to do that every single time. Sounds good? And I deleted a lot of my settings in those just so I can recreate them and kind of show you guys how I go through all of that. And then of course I'll answer some questions and everything, so should be good. We shouldn't be too long today. I'm thinking probably hour and a half or so, and then we will be good to go, and hopefully it'll help you guys a lot cutting all your different materials and whatnot. So here's the deal. Let me know first, I want to see what we got here. Let me know what current vinyl cutter you are currently using. So if you have a Graphtec or a Roland, of course, let me know. You guys see me do a lot of videos on those. But if you have the Cricut, if you have the Cricut Maker, the Cricut Explorer Air, the Silhouette Cameo 4, the Cameo 3, Cameo 2, Cameo 1, let me know. Where are we at? Catherine, yes, this will be recorded, so you'll be able to watch it later as well. 100%. Yep. So I'm seeing Cricut Explorer Air 2, Cameo 4, Cricut, Cricut Maker, Cricut, Graphtec, Cameo 3, Cameo 4, Air 2, Cameo 3, Cameo 4, Cameo 3, Graphtec, Roland, Cricut, Air 2, Maker, Cricut, Cameo, Graphtec, Cricut. Okay, so it looks like we have more, I would say it looks pretty close as far as Cricut and Cameo users here today, which is awesome. And that's why I said we're going to do a mixture. We're going to do a mixture of both. So here's the deal. First thing I'm going to do, and remember, Instagram, I need you to head over to YouTube now, okay? Instagram, head over to YouTube now because I'm going to log off. And if you miss it on YouTube, you can watch it later on YouTube as well. So Instagram, I will see you guys on YouTube in a few minutes. Go to YouTube, search The Rhinestone World if you don't know. All right, later Instagram. All right, Instagram's good. And I want to just be able to stay, hopefully, on one camera and questions coming through to be able to answer more. So I am going to hop on TikTok just to let them know, and then we will get going. Cricut and Cameo cutting. Boom. There we go. All right, let's let the TikTok crew know. Now, for the blade, I actually changed my blade out on the Cameo to use the auto blade, the blade that comes with your Cameo 4, okay? Just so you know, all right? Because a lot of times I do different settings, because a lot of you may not have our actual cutter, or I'm sorry, our actual blade, okay? A lot of you may not have our clean cut blade. So the settings can be a little bit different, where with the clean cut blade our blade holder, you're twisting it instead of doing the auto blade setting and everything. So they can be a little bit different, but I normally do it with our blade. I switched it today to do with the auto blades, so a lot of you that have the Cameo 4 or in different ones, you'll kind of be able to see those settings and go with it. All right, you guys ready? So I am going to start with, the Cameo. I'm going to start with the Cameo. So first material, and I'm just going to keep, can you guys see the screens okay? Let me know if you can see the screens okay. Hopefully you can. I wanted to try and get it so I don't have to switch the screens back and forth every time, but I also want you to be able to see, for example, the Silhouette Studio that I'm about to pull up here, and to be able to see the cut settings on that while I'm walking back and forth and doing this stuff. Perfect. You can. Good. And TikTok, you aren't going to be able to see them good. So TikTok, I'm just coming on here to let you guys know. All right. And let me flip you guys around, TikTok, and I'll show you real quick. I'm just coming on here to let you guys know that I am on YouTube. And on YouTube, you'll see all 4 different camera angles. Okay. So head over to YouTube, TikTok, because we're going to cut on the Cricut and the Cameo. And we're going to work on learning our different cut settings. So I'm going to put you here for a minute, TikTok, and let me actually rotate it so you guys can see my whole screen. And then let's go to work. So the first material I want to cut, how about our opal? Okay, so, and I'll show you the sample pack that we have here as well. And I'm going to go through some of the different sample pack as far as our different Color Spark vinyls as well, just so you can see them. But this is the opal sample pack, okay? So it has one of every color of our Color Spark opal vinyls. And these are the different ones. As you hit the different angles, they're going to change colors and whatnot, which is obviously the super popular material that's out right now. An example of that on a tumbler. Let's see if I have one here. I thought I did, but not seeing it right now. Give me 1 second, see if I have one in here. I probably have a couple. Oh, here we go. So this is the unicorn opal with kind of the mermaid pattern. So you can see how it hits the blues, the pinks, the purples, everything else. So here we go. We are going to head over here to the cutter. We're going to get this set up, and then I will show you as far as the settings on getting all of that going. So heading over here, and TikTok, I'm going to hang with you guys for a little while, but make sure you head over to YouTube, okay? So, got my cutting mat here. And remember, I'm going to do a couple of these, and I'll just show you different, there's a ton of different ways to do all of these different materials, but I want to show you the different ways that kind of work for me, but it might not be exactly the way that you like to do it. So, when I do this, okay, this is my unicorn opal again. You don't always have to drop it, especially this is what I like about the Cameo. You don't always have to drop it up into the top corner there. So a lot of times that top corner of your mat isn't going to be as sticky. Okay? So what I like to do sometimes, this bottom right corner is probably the part of your mat that you don't use the most. Am I correct? Or the bottom middle or the bottom left. So what I like to do sometimes is just say, okay, well, that's a stronger adhesive there. I'm just going to drop this right here and basically insert my mat upside down. That makes sense to everybody? Now what I'm also going to do that I love about the Cameo I'm just going to hit my arrow here. I'm looking at where my blade is, okay? And I'm going to move it over. If you hold it for a couple seconds, then it'll go pretty fast. But I put my blade right into the top corner of my actual material on the cutting mat. So that is basically where the origin is set now. And a lot of you Graph Tech users, you know how we set the origin, right? So when I put this design in the top left corner, that's where the cut is going to start. Flipping the mat also works with the Cricut, 100%. Yeah, it can work with any cutter. But setting this origin like this and not having to move your design to specific spots or use the pick scan or all those things, that's one thing I like about doing this here. So now that I have that, we need to come back over here, and I am just going to kind of bring you guys like this each time for right now. TikTok. But remember, TikTok, you aren't going to be able to see much. If you want to see, head over to YouTube, okay? So we're back over here, and I'm just going to do test cut. So I'm just going to type out test. And for this test cut, I don't need it to be too large. I'm going to go, I don't know, 1 inch or so tall. And I'm going to put a weed box around it as well. All right, and I'm going to send that to the back. So this is my design and cut right here. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up to the top left corner here, and I'm going to come over to the send button. Now, I don't know what you guys do. I honestly never pay attention off the start to the material area up here on the side. How many of you here, let me know, how many of you currently use just the settings that they have? So you go to sign vinyl, or you go to glitter heat transfer vinyl, or whatnot. How many of you currently use their settings? I'm not a huge fan of their settings because every blade is different. Might be a brand new blade, might be an old blade, might be a different cutting mat, whatever it is. Everything can be a little bit different. So I always like to create all of my own settings. All right, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And you can see I have some of my color spark down here. So if I wanted to create a new opal setting, okay, I can go add new material type. So I clicked on the drop down for material, add new material type, and then I'm just going to, where it says new material right there, I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to call it color spark opal, and I'm just going to call it live for on the live right now. All right, and just hit enter, and that's created. Now, this is a big thing right here. Everybody see where it says default and then Cameo 4 201? Let me know if you can see where I'm clicking right here in the bottom right corner. Default and then Cameo 4 201. It's going to go to the default. If you change all the default settings and save it, when you go to cut, you're probably going to use the 201. Well, you haven't changed any of those settings. So it's going to cut at different settings than what you think you saved it at. And I did this off the start as well. So that's where you may run into those issues, okay? So for the opal, okay, the opal is a thinner material, okay? So I'm going to probably go around for my blade depth, okay? So we have blade depth, we have everything. I don't need my blade depth, and that's how far out your blade is going to go for the auto blade. So I'm going to do about a 4 for my blade depth. My force, I'm going to drop down to about a 13, okay? Speed, I don't ever want to go too crazy, so I'm going to bump the speed up to about 20. My goal with every material that I can, my goal is to do 1 pass if possible, because that means less cutting time. And then your acceleration, you can bump that up a little bit. It's just when your actual cutter starts on each of the areas. All right, so if I come over here and hit save, I now just saved that custom setting. So to find that, I'm going to click on the drop down and you'll see it right here at the bottom, Color Spark Opal Live. Click on that. You can see my blade depth is 4, my force is 13, my speed is 20, and I have 1 pass. That makes sense to everybody? So now that I have that, I have it set up over there. I'm going to hit send on this, and let's see what we're like with our setting here. And as I'm going through this, please ask questions. All right, that's good for me there. So I'm just going to hit the arrow, bring that out, and let's go ahead and weed this and see what it looks like. So I'm going to grab it from the corner right there, pull this up, and now I can see, look. So is my pressure too much? Is my pressure not enough? Where am I at? What change do I need to make? You guys let me know. Too much pressure, not enough pressure. And as you're answering, I'm going to load this back up. And I'm going to get it into, and watch, I'm going to bring it just below where I just did that cut. And we're good to go. So, yes, and I'll show you. Let me grab that back here real quick, I think. Where'd it go? So the way, dang it, I lost my carrier of it. The way I knew it was not enough is I didn't see any little score marks in the bottom of it. Okay? So that's the biggest thing is just because it doesn't weed sometimes it doesn't weed good because you have too much pressure. Everybody always thinks it's not enough. But in this case, I'm pretty positive it was not enough pressure. So we're going to hop back over here. Now this is what I like about this is my force is at 13 right now. I'm going to bump it up to 15 and then I can hit save right here and that's now saved that setting. Got it? So I'm going to come down here and let's go ahead and hit send again. And I don't have to do the full word test. If I wanted to, I could just do the letter T or something that's obviously got some type of curves or design element to it. Can you use the clean cut blade for the Cameo 4? Yes, but you will need the blade holder. That is correct. All right, so I bumped my pressure up a tiny bit. Let's see where we're at now. Still better, but still not perfect. The little edge and the T. Now, could I have saved that T? 100%, right? But I want to try to get my setting to a spot where I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so again, drop this back in here. And let's go to my last spot here. And this is my goal. My goal is to show you kind of, I don't want to just cut it and use my settings that I know and make it work every time because obviously that's not the case of what you guys go through. Okay, so have that there. I'm going to come over here to my force and I'm going to move my force up to a 17. Actually, I'm going to bump it all the way to an 18. But remember, my blade depth is only 4. So I'm going to hit send. And I'm going to save it over here as well. This machine is the Cameo 4. Alright, good to go with that. Let's drop this out. And same thing. Pulling from my edge. Doesn't matter what edge you pull from. Pull there. And look what we got. And you can see that's also a really clean cut. Pretty sweet, isn't it? Now, the last thing I want to check is even though that weeded correctly, okay, what I do want to do real quick, flip this over, roll this off, and I'm going to look on the back just to make sure it's not cutting through too much. And you can see I'm not having anything come through the backside. So I know that is my setting for this ColorSpark Opal vinyl. Good to go? All right, let's move on to the next one. So the next color I'm going to use here is some of our ColorSpark glitter craft vinyl. Okay, and again, this is one of our sample packs where you'll get all, what is it, 22 different glitter vinyls. And this glitter vinyl here is actually for outdoor use as well. Okay, no problem putting it on the back window of a car or whatever you want. So let's just cut a little bit of this purple here real quick. Now again, I don't have to cut off pieces, okay, like I did before. If I wanted to, I could just come over here, and I don't want to cut off any of this purple to lose any of it. I can just throw this on here like this, drop it into my machine here, and then I'm going to bring it over to that spot again. And if you hold the right arrow, you can see how it's going to start going faster, and now I'm right in that corner. All right, so let's go ahead and try and figure out our settings on this. Now, I know that this is a thicker material, okay? So this thicker material is obviously going to need more pressure. So heading over to the machine over here, and I'm just going to keep this to one that I was using a few days ago. That is the ColorSpark adhesive and then glitter right here. So you can see, other than the force, does anybody notice what is different about my setting here? Did you guys just hear bling? Other than my force, what else did I change on this one? You got it, right? My blade depth, because it's a thicker material. Now, if I had a choice of blade depth or force, what would I want to use more of? Would I want my blade out further and less force, or would I want my blade out less and more force? What do you guys think? Blade out further and less force, or blade in further and more force? Yes, correct. And I see a lot of you are getting it. You always want to, if you can, use the force. Don't stick your blade at, I've seen people where they put their blade depth at 10 all the time. The further out your blade is, the worse your cut is going to be. Okay? Doesn't mean that it's not going to cut, but use your force as much as you can, and then sometimes you will have to adjust your blade depth. All right? Just refresh your screen if it's blurry for you. You should be able to see my screen pretty good. Can you guys see the numbers on my screen? Most of you, maybe not on a phone, but all right, so I'm just going to test this one out. So I have a blade depth of 6, force of 20, speed of 20. And let's see what this does for me. So I'm going to come down here and hit send. The force is with you. Oh, Spaceballs, awesome movie. Wow, it's been a while. I'm gonna have to go see. I haven't seen Spaceballs in a while. All right, so pulling from the bottom corner here, okay, or the top, wherever you want. Again, thicker material. When I'm trying to pull this up right now, I can see, I know for a fact I do not have enough force on this, okay, because I'm not even getting a pick. Let me try to pick one of my letters here. Okay, I can see my letters starting to come up a little bit, but again, not enough force. So, what do I need to do? I need to come back here, And let's run this again. So, load it into my cutter. And all of these cuttings, just to let you guys know, even though I saved the name of it, I made sure that these cuttings are not going to cut it perfect. Okay? It is the Schwartz. May the Schwartz be with you. All right, so good to go with that. So, what do I want to do here? Okay? I could bump my blade depth up a little bit, and then maybe bump my force up a little bit as well. Okay? Good to go there, good to go there, and let's hit send. And if you cut through it, not necessarily a bad thing, right? No, if you're using the CB09, changing the blade depth in the software isn't going to do anything. Alright, so let's see where we're at now. And see if we got through this some. So, we got through it some, but still not perfect, right? Still not perfect based on the thickness. Now, what you can also always do is come over here, check your blade, and always make sure that your blade doesn't have anything kind of stuck in there, okay? And I can see my blade looks good here. If you push on it a little bit, you can make sure that everything's good in there, okay? So I just set it to 0 when I pushed there. All right, let's go ahead and drop this back in. Come over here, drop this back in. Now, let me show you one thing. This is pretty cool as well. So, do you guys know, and I'm sure some of you have run into this at different times, different materials can have different colors of different materials can have different thicknesses. Did you guys know that? So the way some colors are built on materials, it can make the material a little bit more difficult to cut through, okay? So I'm using the same glitter vinyl, and this is the coffee or the mocha. So got that there, and I'm just going to try the exact same setting I just ran there, just to make sure, just to test it. Now, I'm going to assume that this isn't going to get through, but like I said, depending on the material. You're not crazy then, Betty. Have you run into that before? Okay, cut it at the exact same material settings, and look, perfect cut, right? Get the inside of the E, perfect cut. So what I've kind of noticed on the glitters is the lighter the material, the little bit more setting, okay? The force I have this set at right now, I have it at a blade depth of 8 and a force of 24, and that cut it perfect. Make sense? All right, so let's roll that off. The Cameo sounds like the grandfather clock ticking. All right, I'm going to just grab another random color. Here is the silver. Let's just do here, this is a pretty cool color. Let's try the mint. Let's get this loaded in. So yes, those of you who are wondering, you aren't going crazy, okay? You aren't going crazy if that is happening, because it can. I mean, even though it's some material, it's the exact same material, I get it a lot of times with glitter heat transfer vinyl as well, where the settings can be a little bit different. The speed I have the speed set at 20. So let's see where we are with the mint. Okay, see, the mint, a little bit lighter material, and I probably need to go a little bit thicker, right? So let's find out what our actual setting is for this. So, and once we do this, okay, I know the setting that I could set it at to where I can make it, and I know it's going to cut right. But again, the whole point of this training is to run through and show you guys when it doesn't cut right and making the adjustments. So what I like to do a lot of times, once I'm here, yes, this color is sweet, isn't it? Is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go 8, but I'm going to bump it up to a force of 30. Okay, and then 1 pass. So I didn't adjust my blade depth at all, but I bumped my force up to 30. And I just want to see if we get a difference here. But remember, all of your blades are going to be different. I'm not going to lie. This blade that I'm using, because I usually use my clean cut blade, but this blade that I'm using here is probably, look at the difference, is probably, I would say, a good year old as far as use. So that was a perfect cut. Perfect cut there. So my setting that I had there for the perfect cut, oh, sorry, my mic. Setting I had for my perfect cut was, I did a speed of 20, force of 30, and blade depth of 8. Got it? Yes. This is probably our most popular color, and it's actually, the color on the website is seafoam. I think I said mint, but the color on the website is called seafoam. And another really popular one is, the cantaloupe one is actually really popular as well. And then we have the rose gold. So we have 22 different colors in these glitters. All right? I tend to love antique blades. Hey, I'm just seeing how long they're going to last. All right, next thing I want to cut is a little bit of magic flock. Let's do a little bit of magic flock template material. So, the trick with magic flock is you want to make sure that you stick the magic flock directly to the cutting mat. Okay? So you can see I do not have a white backer on this. I'm going to stick the magic flock directly on my cutting mat. Okay? Let's get this loaded in. These are not texture glitters, correct. These are just regular smooth glitters. I'm going to do the texture glitter in a minute as well. Okay, got my magic flock loaded in there. Let's go over here to our settings, and I'm going to just keep it on this same setting, but magic flock, I know I got to bump it up to 10, and I'm going to do full force. Okay? Yes, our cutting mats are available on the website. Now, speed, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm going to keep it at 20, but I am going to do 2 passes on this one. Okay? Now, I do need to actually get a rhinestone design, obviously. So let's come over here and let's just type out test. And I'm going to use the TRW 130 super small. Now, does everybody know where the settings are for your rhinestone fonts on how to find them? What you're going to do is go to resources, okay, FAQs, and you want the font list. So this is the font sizing guide right here. So in the font sizing guide, I'm using TRW 130. So I'm going to scroll down. 130 super small is SS10 size is 70 for the point size. Okay, makes sense? SS10 point size of 70. So when I come back to silhouette here, I'm going to switch to that font, TRW 130, super small, and point size of 70. Now, I've always noticed on the Cricut, it normally cuts the circles a little bit different, so I normally up my point size a couple. So I'm actually going to make it 73. Now I'm going to grab my box tool. I'm going to draw a box around this and change the color if you want, whatever. You don't have to. I just did so you'll be able to see it better. I'm going to send that box to the back and then highlight both of these. Now if I come over here right now and hit subtract, there's my rhinestone template. Got it? So now that I have that, I can come over here to send. I'm going to obviously cut it, okay? So click on that. We're going to do cut, force of 33, speed of 20, blade depth of 10 with 2 passes. Even though this still says adhesive glitter right now, you don't need to worry about that because I went in and preset these to something different. So if I come over and hit send, let's see what we get out of this. We do, Pilar. We actually had, it was supposed to be in for Valentine's Day. We had a limited edition run of some TRW pink magic flock. And we just literally got it in. We only brought in a couple hundred rolls. And we literally just got it in. So it's just going to go out in random orders for specials. I did take the white backing off of the flock, Beth. Yes, I did. Alright, so once we do that, let's go ahead and send this out. Now, looking for where my edge is, which I can see is right here. Let's go ahead and pull that. And, ooh, we missed one circle. But, not too bad with the Cameo, right? And now, once you have this template, obviously, that template's lasting forever. There's not a difference between our pink. So, it's the way that we build Magic Flock is different than a lot of the different template materials out there. We use a different adhesive. We use different flock fibers as far as the length and everything. So the pink, if you guys got a special roll of the pink, okay, we didn't even put them on the website because it was after the fact, but we are sending them out. And then if you do get the limited edition pink, you get a couple little presents with it as well. All right, so Magic Flock, setting that I use, speed of 20, okay, force of 33, blade depth of 10 with a double cut, and the Magic Flock stuck directly to your cutting mat. Yes, the quicker you run it, the quicker speed you run, a lot of times your cut quality isn't going to be as good, okay? All right, so good to go with that. Now, next one I want to do, ooh, this is a good one here. Let me pull this off. And I'm going to actually just put this over here for now because we're going to use it on the Cricut later. To get the actual little dots off, all I do is bring the trash can over here, use my squeegee right into the trash can. Those are all cleaned up. And now I am going to do this material here. Uh-oh, just dropped my weeding tool. This is the textured glitter vinyl, okay? So it's a really cool vinyl, but it's a textured glitter, which is obviously different. Has a really cool glitter look. It almost, not the exact same, but it almost feels similar I would say, to the glitter heat transfer vinyl. So again, doesn't matter where I put it on the mat here. I'm just going to drop it right there. And if you want to, you could always move these over just so they're kind of running over the material. Sometimes it can help it. So bring this down. Now on my glitter textured, I'll pull it up on the software here just so you can see. Everything's lined up there. Let's head back over here, and we got to get a regular word test. Let me type that out again. And then again, throw a little weed box around it. And send that to the back just so we can see it. That looks good. Drop that up into the corner there. Now, I go to my send button. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here and look at Color Spark Adhesive Texture Glitter, okay? Right now, I have this set at a force of 8, a force of 25, blade depth of 8, and speed of 20, okay? I probably want to slow my speed down a little bit on this. I'm going to drop it down to 10, and then let's just see what this does here. See if we need to make any adjustments. And the reason why I move those, it helps keep the material down. How many of you adjust these when you do cuts? All right, let's go ahead and shoot this out here, and let's see what we're looking like pressure-wise. So, pressure-wise, I can see, oh yeah, definitely need to get some more pressure in there, okay? So as I'm pulling this up, I can see that that definitely did not get to where it needed to be, all right? So, let's go ahead, and I'm just going to cut a little bit bigger piece so we can do a couple different cuts kind of at the same time. Drop that baby there. And you can use texture glitter on anything. I use it on tumblers a lot. Looks awesome on tumblers. The texture glitter is not UV protected, which is a big thing. Okay, so just be careful with it not being UV protected. It will fade in the sun over time. All right, so what if, and I just want to show you this, what if I actually lowered, okay, what if I lowered my blade depth? You guys tell me what you think will happen. I was at an 8. I lowered my blade depth to a 6. I'm going to up my pressure to a 28, and I'm going to do 2 passes. Do you think this is going to cut better or worse? Let me know. So I lowered my blade depth. I upped my pressure by 2, but I did 2 passes or a double cut. What do you think? Is it going to cut better through it or worse through it? So, you can see our cut right here. Let's go to my edge here, and I can see, ooh, it looks like top of my T right, oh, no, actually, boom. Yes. Now, a big thing is getting to here and looking on the back. Nothing through the back right there. And we're sitting pretty. So, don't be scared of a double cut, okay? Because, yes, it's going to take longer, but on something like this or a custom name, it's going to take 15 seconds instead of 12 seconds, instead of 10 seconds, okay? But you can see how clean the cut is still. Still a nice clean cut, right? But what I did is I moved to that double cut, backed off on the blade depth so I can get a better cut and up the pressure just a little bit. Make sense? So, and the whole point of me doing it that way and showing you that way is everybody, their first instinct is always to up the blade depth all the way and up the pressure all the way. And they're like, damn it, it's still not cutting. Okay? Blade depth, hey, have it as small as you can. Pressure you can move up, but then you could always drop to that double cut to get this. Okay? So to let you know what I was at there, I was at a force of 28, speed of 10, and blade depth of 6. All right? All right, next one we're going to do, and I know a lot of you have been waiting for this, HTV anything. HTV anything, let's do it. Now I know, and a lot of you know, HTV anything is definitely a thicker material, right? So, with it being a thicker material, I know that this setting's going to have to be up there a little bit. So just to test it out, I'm going to run it at what I just did. 6 for blade depth, 28 for force, 10 for speed. And let's see what happens here. And I did do a double cut. 2 passes. Yes, I'm going to cut HTV anything on the Cricut here in a minute. Okay, boom. You could see where you could see the 2 passes is when it actually does that, the box around it. So, I'm going to pull from the edge here, and let's see what we got. Oh, first, and I know it's really hard to see, but can you guys see? First cut, perfect. HTV anything. And the only thing you have to weed on this is the inside of the E, and you can see how easily that just pulled up. So my setting again with the older blade though, my setting with HTV anything was blade depth of 6, okay, force of 28, and speed of 10 with a double cut, or in the software it's called passes. So 2 passes. Make sense? So, and one thing I want you to know is anytime I'm doing stuff like this and working on different cut settings and stuff, please know that your blade is going to be a little bit different. It might be brand new and it cuts through it. It might be older and it doesn't cut all the way through it. But at least now the goal is to show you kind of what you do when it is cutting through too much or it's not cutting through enough. Not always just bump that blade depth. Hey, work the force first, sometimes even move to a double cut before you get that blade depth too much. Make sense? Yes, we are working on a list of recommended cut settings for you guys. All right. So I think that is most of, one more quick one. Color changing, right? Again, a little bit thicker material. Our color changing. So this color changing, let me grab well, I probably don't even need to grab a piece of ice. I could probably just do this. This color changing here is the pink to purple. As you can see, this changing as I'm holding it right there. So that is the color changing. We have pink to purple, we have yellow to green, and we have clear to blue are the colors we have right now. We are working on about 12 different colors of the color changing that are going to be sweet. All right, but let's go ahead and find our setting here. Well, you don't want to drop water onto your cutting mat. That's not going to help with your adhesive. Let's go ahead and load this up. And get my setting here. All right, that looks good. So again, being a thicker material, I want to get this to, let's see, I'm going to drop it down to a force of about, actually, I'm going to keep it at a force of 28, but go to 1 pass. Just to see where we're at, just as a test. I pretty much know if this is going to work or not already, but just to show you. So exact same settings I just had with the texture glitter vinyl, except I changed it from 2 passes to 1 pass. So if I go to weed this here, it's perfect. So again, the only difference between the texture glitter and the color changing adhesive vinyl, I took away the 2 passes. Went to 1 pass. Now, pull this off and I can see it's not cutting through the back, so that means I'm good. Sweet? Yep, of course, you're just going to pop out the inside of that E. But that's where you can see how nice it cut it. All right. So I think we cut probably 5 different materials with different settings on the Cameo there. Now we're going to make our way down to Mr. Cricut. So let's move you guys down here. And TikTok, I'm keeping you here even though you aren't going to be able to see a lot of the stuff I do. But you'll be able to see some of it. TikTok, just head over to YouTube if you want to see everything. Alright. For the Cricut here, we're going to run through the same type materials and just see what our different settings on. So, whether I'm using the Cricut Maker or the Cricut Explore Air, I love to do my own custom settings. So, I'm going to bring you over to the software first. Yes, I'll show you when the pressure is too high as well. Let me bring you over to the software first and show you guys what's going on. All right, let's close down Silhouette here. And let's open, oh, I have Design Space open, sweet. All right, so I'm gonna go text, and I'm just gonna type out tester. And for test, I wanna add a box around it real quick, so I'm just gonna go to shapes and square. I'm going to unlock the square so I can make it whatever size I want. That looks good. Send it back behind it. And then I'm going to take both of these. That's 3 inches. I don't need it quite 3 inches. Let's go a little bit smaller. 2.6 inches. And let's actually make the square a little bit smaller as well. Just so we don't waste as much material. And then I'm going to take both of these, okay, and I'm going to attach them. Throw it up into the top corner here, and we're going to go to make it. Now, for how many of you currently here are doing custom settings with your Cricut Explore Air or your Cricut Maker? Give me a yes if you're already doing custom settings. Give me a no if you are not. Because I know a lot of people don't know about this, and it's really nice. The overcut feature in the silhouette, it's doing an outside overcut. So it's different than the overcut feature that I talk about in the Wizard. I see yes, yes, no, no, yes, no, no, yes, no. I haven't cut anything. No, 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 yeah. Okay, so about half and half. Let me show you. Here's what most people see, okay? This is what most people see with the Cricut off the start, and they'll see the different kind of popular materials, okay? But go to Browse All Materials, and you're going to see them all. But then in the bottom left of that, you'll see Material Setting, okay? Scroll all the way down. You don't have to, because you're going to see it right there. There's my material settings. Now, if you roll all the way to the bottom of your material settings, you're going to see Add New Material. See it right here? So when you guys hear me talk about the cut pressure on the Cricut, that's what I'm talking about. And most of the times, if you don't come to this area here, you never see the cut pressure, right? So when you hear me say cut pressure of 350 or cut pressure of 125 or whatever it is, this is what I'm talking about. Okay? So I like to just create all of my own settings. Yes, it's going to take a little bit more time, but then I'm not thinking down the road, okay, did I use this adhesive vinyl, or did I use this setting, or did I use this, and whatnot. Okay? So scroll back down to the bottom again. And you'll see I already have some of them in here, okay? There's ColorSpark Adhesive Glitter. There's ColorSpark HTV Anything. So I'm at 225, 240. ColorSpark Opal I had set at 135, and so on. But let me just show you how I make it, okay? So I'm going to go to Add New Material. And what it'll do is give you a spot to type in the name. I'm going to go ColorSpark Opal Live. Just so we know it's the one I'm creating right here. And I'm going to hit save. And then it's kind of weird. It throws it right up at the top right there. Can you guys see it? So just scroll up a little bit and you'll be able to see better. Now, I'm going to set this setting at, let's just say, 140. Okay? Thinner material. All right? And then I want a single cut, so turn multi-cut off, and it's always defaulted to off as well. And then I'm going to use my fine point blade. Hit save, and now it's saved there. Okay? Now, when I close out of this, and I go to Browse All Materials, you're going to scroll down until you see it's going to say My Materials. There's going to be a section dedicated just to you. Okay? Now, with that dedicated, those are all the ones that you've created. There's our ColorSpark Opal Live. So I'm going to hit my little star to add that to my favorites. And then click off of it. Now, I'm going to go to my favorite section. Now, one thing I don't like, it's kind of a pain in the butt, all of my favorites, it just says My Material. I wish it would just say, like more info. Like, if you go to Popular, it says cardstock, and then it gives the information. If anybody knows how to get the rest of the information in this box, let me know. I've looked around and tried. I didn't see it. But once I have it there, it's saved, okay? Yes, exactly, Eric. You can search from the top. So if you want to find your ColorSpark, I could just type in color, and it'll pull up all of my ColorSpark. Good point, Eric. Thank you. So instead of scrolling to try to find it, you can just type ColorSpark or whatever you name your material, and it'll pull it up there. But when I go here, I click on it, and it says ColorSpark Adhesive Glitter. Then I have to click on this, and then I go here. Oh, there's my Opal Live. So that's kind of a pain in the butt, but just know, and I was doing this off the start, I was hitting cancel each time, okay? Don't do that. To pick a different material, just click on the one again. Click on ColorSpark Opal, and then you can click on the next one. Oh, that's my reflective. Oh, that's my HTV Anything. That's my Opal. Good to go. Make sense? All right, so now that we have that, let's head back over here to the machine. And let's get this thing cut. So, with the Cricut here, what are we doing? We're doing opal first, right? Let me grab some of my opal vinyl. I had a sample over here somewhere, right? There we go. And I probably should, and again, I have my cutting mat upside down. Not the end of the world. And I could even do something like this. It's even hanging off the top a little bit. Now, I'm going to drop this here. I'm going to hit my up arrow. Now, one thing, and this is, I want to show you guys, hopefully you can see this. Our roller's right there, okay? A lot of times, if that roller is hitting your material, have any of you ever had it where it kind of bunches up your material a little bit? So, I feel like you either need to commit all the way to the roller, or you need to just miss the roller. One or the other. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? So, I'm going to try to just miss the roller, so it isn't actually hitting my material. So, now that I've done that, let's go ahead and hit cut here. And does anybody know, other than the mat, the Cricut doesn't have, remember how I was adjusting with the Cameo to bring it to the exact spot I want to cut? The Cricut doesn't really have that unless you're using the scanning feature, or unless you're actually moving the design on your actual page, right? So let's drop that down there, and let's see what our pressure was like. Beautiful. Well, that was easy enough. Pretty sweet, right? Oh, gotcha. The Cricut mat has it off the rollers. Makes sense. Now, I do want to show you if I use too much pressure as well. Okay? I do want it because I saw some of you guys asking, can you show too much pressure? Let me do that too. So I'm going to come and let's go here. And let's go with this. Drop this down. Drop that up. And now I'm going to bump my pressure up to cut through a little bit, hopefully. So to do that, I'm going to come back over to my settings here. I'm going to browse all materials. I'm going to search Color Spark, Opal Live, okay? Material settings. Oh, and then I still got to search it. That's fine. So, Color Spark Opal, right here, I'm going to edit it. And I'm going to bump my setting up from 140 to 200. So, I just went up 60 in my cut force. Let's go to that same one, Color Spark Opal, and let's cut it. So 135, 140 was my setting that did work. That was awesome. I want to see what 200 does. I'm pretty positive it's going to be too much pressure. Oh, I can see already it popped out the inside of the I, or the inside of the E. See how it popped out the inside of the E there? You guys see that? And now when I go to pull this off, look. See how it cut through? Now, does it necessarily mean that it's ruined? Not necessarily, okay? you can see I can save this, but I can also see that all of this area cut through on the back. So had I done a little bit more pressure, it would have cut all the way through and all of the white part would have come up as well. And each of the letters literally would have stuck and stayed on my cutting mat. Make sense? All right. So, Color Spark Opal with the Cricut, I'm at around 140 for my cut force, single pass, and fine point blade. All right. Let's try, I know this one's going to be more difficult, my pink glitter. Now this is the pink texture glitter, right? Pink texture glitter. Let's drop this here. Drop it into my maker here. These I like to slide over sometimes as well. Oh, does it? The Cricut mat is under the rollers? It goes half-inch mark on either side. Gotcha. All right. So for my settings for this one, I got to go finish there. Let's go back to Make It now. And let's see what I currently have. And this is kind of annoying to me. And this is honestly, you guys let me know, okay? This is why I think that a lot of you don't know about the custom settings and you don't know about cut force with your Cricut machine. And the reason why is it doesn't show any of that information on this screen, right? It never says what your force is, correct? So if I'm going to do the, what am I doing? The texture. Do I have a textured in here yet? I don't have a textured in here yet. So I'm going to create, we're going to show you how to create a brand new one. But I think it's kind of stupid. I wish when you would go to this page right here, it would say what your cut pressure was. And that's why I think most people, because I didn't, when I first got the Cricut, I was like, oh, damn, I got to use all these pre-cut settings that they have. I want to make my own settings. I honestly never knew for a while that you could use and create your own cut force and your cut pressure. All right, so that's what I'm going to do here real quick. So let's go back here. We're going to go browse all materials again, right? We're going to material settings, okay? Scroll to the bottom, and I'm going to go add new material. And the new material I'm going to add is Color Spark Textured Glitter Adhesive Vinyl. And let's hit save. Now, for this vinyl, I know that it's going to be similar to the glitter adhesive, maybe a little bit thicker, okay? So I'm going to just guesstimate around the 230 range. So let's drop this to 230, still a single cut, still a fine point blade. So I'm going to hit save, and then I see it right here, okay? So it's good. Close that down. And I'm going to go browse all materials. I'm going to find it real quick, and I'm going to add it to my favorites. Texture glitter, boom, good to go. And I can also just click on it from there as well. Color Spark Texture Glitter. Good to go? All right, let's go see. Good there, let's cut. So the space between the two lighter inside rollers is and 11.5 inches, at least on my Explorer. Okay, good, sweet. Appreciate it, Eric. In the process to make the user-friendly, remove a lot of important stuff. And there's, I gotcha. Man, I understand that, but People want to know what their cut settings are, right? I can understand trying to make it as user-friendly and as simple as possible, but man. All right, so let's see if we guessed right. I can see my cut lines good. I'm not sure if you guys can see. Can you guys see the cut lines at all there? I can see my cut lines pretty good, which is always nice. But let's see what we got here. Go the edge up top here and boom, baby. Let's go. It's like magic. I'm going to do the other glitter as well. I'm going to go through all the same materials on the Cricut as well. Now, again, just because that weeded, okay, doesn't mean that that's my perfect pressure, because I need to pull this off and just make sure it didn't cut through the back, which it did not. Make sense? So, setting for the texture glitter on the Cricut machine here, we did, I think, what did we do, 240? I'll get you the exact settings, hold on. I need material settings, and color spark, textured glitter, edit, 230. And if you guys want to take a screenshot of this real quick, hold on, let me see if I can get you a better, give me 1 second. Screen cam. There's a little bit bigger image just for a minute. So you can see the glitter adhesive, HTV anything, a couple of these settings that are saved here. And what we'll probably do is once we get all these settings created and stuff, what we could probably do, I think that would help you guys, and I know Bobby's working on something already, is maybe just take a screenshot of our custom settings that we use for the Cameo and for the Cricut and whatnot, and then just put that onto the site for you guys to be able to download or create a PDF or something. Because I think that'll help you guys a lot. But just remember, just because we created a setting, please don't go cut a huge design with those settings assuming it's going to be perfect. Because again, your blade's going to be different, your machine's going to be different. It's going to get you in the ballpark. Now you do a test cut to make sure that it's all good, right? Because just because we put a setting up there, I promise it's not going to be the exact setting for everybody. And we'll do it with obviously the Graphic as well, 100%. All right, so next one I need is the texture glitter, okay? So remember with the texture glitter, we had two different settings based on the one color versus the second color. So let's do this one first. I'm just going to drop this here. And this is our seafoam again. Bring that up. And we should be good to go with that. Come back to my settings. And I am going to do the... Let's see if I have it saved in here yet. HTV anything. Because I deleted some. Oh, glitter adhesive. Okay. But I want you guys to know what I'm actually cutting it at. So, glitter adhesive as of right now, I'm going to, or I have set at, color spark, 225 for my cut force. Single cut, fine point blade. 225. Okay. So, let's close that down, and glitter adhesive, set at 225. Let's go ahead and cut this. 100%, right, Dale? And that's a great point, Dale. Whether you're using the Cricut blade, whether you're using our clean cut blade, whether you're using a blade you got on eBay or Amazon, they're all going to be a little different, right? And some may be a lot different. All right, good to go with that. Let's bring this out. Let's see what our setting was like there. So, taking it from the top corner here, and boom, fire. He's on fire today. Again, doesn't mean that it's perfect yet until we look at the back and see that it didn't cut through. Now, let me see. Can you guys see a little bit of a line? It didn't cut through, but let me know. Can you see that little bit of a line almost where it was getting pretty close to cutting through? You see that? So it didn't cut through the material, which is fine, but it's pretty dang close. So if I wanted to, I could back the pressure off a tiny bit. The biggest thing is, because I didn't see any actually go through the material, I know I am okay with that, and it will be fine, but it's just a matter of... Now, what I want to do is bring this purple back. Remember, the purple was thicker. So, let's make another run at this purple here. And I'm just going to hit go at the same setting here. I also researched Cameo 4 bundles and yes. Yes, our Cameo 4s are, I'm pretty positive, the best deal you're going to find out there, because our Cameo 4, we sell it at the price of the Cameo that basically everybody else does, but you actually get like a little business starter kit with it as well. Whether you want a little rhinestone kit or an adhesive vinyl kit or heat transfer vinyl kit. So it actually comes with extras, where the others are just basically getting the Cameo. So this here, ooh, it did get through it. Nice. But you know why this got through it? Is because this backside, see on this one how you can't see, remember the lines we saw on the last one? And I'll show you just to see if you guys can see the difference. Because a lot of you are probably saying right now, well, why didn't the Cameo go through it? Can you guys see the lines right here of it? The pressure was so high it almost cut through the backside. But on this one, you can see there's none of those lines. So that force was, and that's probably the force I would always use, okay? Because that force is not too much on the little bit lighter material, or the little bit lighter of the glitter, which might be a tiny bit thinner, easier to cut through, but it was also enough to cut the purple here. Does that make sense? And so now I have a setting that I can do with both of them, which we could have also done with the Cameo as well. Got it? Sweet. All right, next material. Let's cut some Magic Flock. So with the Magic Flock, again, the key to every craft cutter, whether it's the Cricut, the Cameo, the Cricut Joy, the Cricut Explore Air, the Cameo 3, 2, 1, whatever, sticking the blue Magic Flock material directly to the cutting mat. Matt, can you do a test cut with much smaller size text? Erica, the biggest thing with that is honestly, it's just the cutter. So if you're trying to cut super fine detail text with the Cameo or the Cricut, it's not going to do a good job of that. It's not horrible. Like, you can get away with it sometimes depending on the material, but I'm telling you right now, that's why it's a $300 cutter, $250 cutter versus a $1,200, $1,800 cutter. Okay, so these are all stepper motors, which aren't going to cut detail as good. They're a lot louder. They're a lot slower. Where you're going to get a machine that's going to cut those super intricate designs is where you're looking for a servo motor. Okay, it's going to be a lot quieter, a lot quicker, and it'll have a lot better quality cuts. Does that make sense? So if you are running into issues with really fine text, that's the reason why. It's nothing really to do with your cut settings as much as it's just pushing the limits as far as what that cutter can do. Okay, so for this here, I need to come back over to the design space here, and we're going to use the same font. I'm just going to type test again, and we're going to use the TRW 130 super small font. So let's go to font and TRW 130. There it is. And then font size, what did we do? 72? 73, I think, on the last one. Let's see how close that is. So I did 73 for my font size. Now, a lot of you guys have seen it. Some of you haven't, okay? Check this out. If you want to see what your actual circle size is on these, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take this, you're going to weld it together. Click on it again and click on contour. Hide all contours, click off of it, 0.137 inches, pretty close, right? Now, I want it to be 0.135, so I'm going to go change that to 0.135 inches, go back to contour, show all contours, close that down, and now these are all sized perfectly to the SS 10.135 inches. You have Color Spark Opal Live setting. No, Eric. Because I already had a Color Spark Opal setting in there, so I just saved it as live, so I knew it was the one that I just created during the live. All right, so with that, let's zoom out here. Now, I do need to create a weed box around it. So let's go to Shapes and Squares. And I'm going to take my square here, drop it around this word, send it to the back so I can see it. That looks good to me. Highlight both of them and hit Slice. Grab the square, and there's my rhinestone template ready to go. Throw it up into the corner here, and that looks good. Go to Make It. Now, with this one here, I'm going to hit Continue. And I want to do Magic Flock. So again, I'm going to do it like it's brand new, or I want to bring you to the settings so you can see what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to go Browse All Materials, and I'm going to go Material Settings. I added all the Color Spark to the Cricut myself. That is correct. And that's where when you're at Material Settings, right down here at the bottom is where you add it. I'll do a new one right here for you. Look. So scroll to the bottom, hit Add New Material, and I'm going to call it, I'll call it Color Spark. Magic Flock. And I'm going to say Live again, so I know it's this one. I'll hit Save. It gives us our settings. I'm going to go a setting of 350. Okay, I'm going full pressure. Single cut, fine point blade, save. Got it? All right, let's scroll up. And I didn't put it in my favorites yet, so let me go back here. Type in color, and where is my one that I just created? Color Spark Magic Flock Live. There it is. Click on it, and hit done, and now that's what I'm using. Now, what I also do, so I can get away with the single cut, is I click on more for pressure as well. You guys see that? So 350 is my cut force, single cut, fine point blade, more pressure. Now let's head back over to the cutter here and hit it. And the goal is, Dawn, the goal, if you can, you always want to try to, if it's possible, to not double cut. And the reason why, it takes long enough to cut on this machine, right? So if you can get away without double cutting, it's going to almost cut your cut time in half, because it's not having to cut 2 circles every time it goes to cut 1 circle. For the SS6 stones, they are more difficult, especially with the craft cutter, because the circles are so much smaller. But for the SS6, I normally cut my SS6 nowadays at 0.1 inch. All right, so let's see where we are settings-wise now. Let's go ahead and drop this out. Check my edge here. That looks good. Pull that up. It's beautiful, baby. Let's go. How sweet is that? And that was a single cut. Sorry, I'm pointing with the wrong finger here, aren't I? It's because I'm holding this. I can't really point with my ring finger, so you guys got some... Here, I'll point with my pinky. Is that better? It's beautiful right there. That's what I'm talking about. All right, we got one more to cut with this, and I need to cut some HTV anything material. Yeah, cleaning the dots off the mat is easy. It honestly is. All I do, and I'll show you, let me scoot back here a little bit so you can see even better. All I do, have my trash can right here, all right? Trash can's there, and squeegee right in the trash can, all clean. All right, last cut. Oh yeah, color changing. Yes, color changing. So, HTV anything. Let's drop this onto my cutting mat here, and let's get this loaded up. HTV anything is loaded. Let's head over here. Let's go back to our original test. So let's go text and just type out test again. We don't want the rhinestone, we just want a basic Arial font. There we go. It isn't that bad to scrape it off. It's pretty easy. It looks like it requires muscle. All right, and it doesn't matter, bold, not bold, whatever. We want this to be around 1 inch tall. And I'm going to go to my shapes again, just to get my little weed box around it. Unlock it. Draw my box around it, send it to the back, and then it'll allow me to adjust my box. Good to go there. And again, I like to attach these. So, oh, sorry. Boom. Let's take this. Now, quick question for you guys, okay? Because I haven't played around with it enough to know. So, when I want to cut, is there a quick button? You Cricut users out there, I'm asking you guys. Is there a quick button to make both of these cut at the same time? because they're technically different colors and it looks at them as different cuts. Where are you guys at, Cricut users? Let me know. Drop it up in the corner, and I'm going to go to make it, but you'll see when I go to make it, it has my two different cuts here. I was trying to hold shift. That isn't it. Let me know. How many of you here know? I didn't see any buttons here. Where's the color sync at? I know actually grouping them together is fine. I just didn't know if there was an easy way. Move it to the same, you can move them to the same mat. Let me see, let me go back to that. I know make them both the same color, I understand that, but there isn't something that can just, you can't, it's not like you can drag it to the other mat. Use a Cameo. You literally have to, huh? This is what I normally do. I just attach them. And then when you go to make it, then they're both there. It will let you move it to the other mat. You can move the image from the second mat to the first mat. Let me go back and try that. So I just normally hit attach and that solves the problem. But I was always wondering if there was just a basic setting. So you can move it. So how, let's see. So if I'm on that mat, not there, not there. Where are you actually moving it to? It's not a drag and drop at all. If you're in Make It, click the three dots. All right, if you're in Make It, here. No, those are the three lines. Those aren't the three dots, are they? So let's go to Make It. Hey, yeah. Move object. I gotcha. I gotcha. Okay. And then select a matte or material color. Okay, so you get a couple different choices here. Boom, confirm. I gotcha. I like it. Okay. I got it. The thing I would be worried about the thing I would be worried about with this is, what if that moved a little bit on you? You know? So basically it's either, you got a couple different choices. It's either make them both the same color, or I honestly think I like just hitting the group button and going to Make It. Now, ooh, not group. Group doesn't do it, does it? Attach. So when I attach them together, then when I go to Make It, it shows them both. So I guess there isn't really I guess there's not a perfect way, right? I think I'll stick with the attach. I feel like the attach is less clicking, isn't it? Because otherwise I would have had to come here, I would have had to click on the three dots, I would have had to click on Move Object, and then I would have had to click on it and click Confirm. Correct? Where the way that I currently do it, I just highlight it and hit Attach, and then hit Make It, and they're both there. Gotcha. Okay. So I think that way is honestly, I think might be the best way. I guess either way. Also, color sync under make it button will sort colors. Gotcha. Okay, let me go back. Ah, I see you. I see you, Eric. Yes. So, oh yeah. So, color sync. This panel allows you to sync colors to use fewer materials. To change colors, boom, 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 boom. Drag and drop an object onto the layer of your desired color. Okay. Okay. But again, even that, it's a lot of, I feel like, moving around and I didn't say that, Jacqueline. Yes, I will say that. I didn't say I hate the Cricut. The actual machine, I don't mind the machine at all. The machine cuts just like the Cameo, okay? The machines are very comparable. I hate the Cricut software because it has so many limitations. Everybody can agree on that, right? So me personally, I'm going to still keep doing it this way, okay? I'm going to keep going and attaching it and then make it. Slice will work, but it slices it out. But yeah, that could work as well, and that's what I do with the rhinestones. All right, so good to go with that. Let's go ahead and hit continue now. Now, for the HTV anything material, the color sync options for, say, a 4-color butterfly design or something. Yes, yes. No, and that's exactly it, Dawn. And again, those of you who don't know, when I started my business, I got the cheapest software, the cheapest cutter, the cheapest, least expensive everything, because that's all I could afford, right? So, here's the issue is now I'm using a Graphtec and the Wizard and Corel every day. So, whether I'm using Silhouette Business Edition, Designer Edition, Design Space, Make the Cut, Inkscape, all of them seem like a pain in the ass to me because I'm so used to clicking buttons and it be gone and ready to go, right? Click a button, boom, ready to go. So, but I love learning this stuff as well because it helps me obviously help you guys grow your business, which is obviously the hardest part. All right, so here we go. We are cutting what? HTV anything material, right? So I want to go to the settings to show you what my settings I have set right now for HTV anything is. So Color Spark HTV anything, I have a setting of 240 for my cut force, single cut fine point blade. 240. Got it? All right. So let's go to, this is such a pain in the butt trying to find it this way. It's honestly, it's probably, again, I'm going to make this change probably too. Instead of having 20 different My Materials up here, it's probably going to be easier to browse materials and search HTV any. And then click on it and go. Right? So, there it is, 240. Let's go ahead and send it. I think I still have it in here, right? Yep. HTV anything, Holly, is the material that you're going to heat press glitter heat transfer vinyl to. Let me see, I got a sample around here somewhere. You're going to heat press heat transfer vinyl to the HTV anything material to turn it into a dishwasher safe decal. Crystal, that pretty much sums it up. Yes. The Cricut software is a PETA. The Cameo is kind of the in-between PETA. And the Graphtec is the best. Yes. But you also see a huge price difference, and that's the thing. All right, so let's see how our settings were on this. This is obviously HTV anything material. And as I pull this up, oh, it's so hard to see sometimes, but you can see. I don't know if you can see. There you go. Perfect. Now I just got to get the inside of the E right there. And there we go. So, force 240. 240 cut force for HTV anything material. I don't have the heat press on now. Alright, let's head back over here. I'm going to switch over to this camera quick. Boom. So, hopefully, again, a little bit different than what I normally do for the live trainings, and maybe I'll do this on one of the Monday ones too, with some even different materials. Maybe I'll do a round where we do all heat transfer vinyls. But I really, like, you guys see me make shirts all the time. You see me make tumblers all the time. You see me make decals and rhinestone decals and whatnot on all the different lives and trainings and stuff. But I thought this would be a pretty cool training just because I was able to show you it not cutting right, cutting all the way through, not cutting enough, and then how to make the adjustments with your Cricut or your Cameo. Oh, color changing, yes, Deborah, yes, thank you. I gotta do that real quick too. Let me flip back around. Color changing on the Cricut. Hold on 1 second. Boom, 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 boom. Is there a bundle deal, Graph Tech, Design Wizard, and Corel Draw? We had a bundle deal recently where you got a free full artwork pack with the Wizard Corel bundle and a Graph Tech. So if you give a call to the call center and let them know and say, Matt said I got the Wizard Corel bundle and the Graph Tech at the same time, and you still get some stuff with the Graph Tech as well, and some stuff with the Wizard already, but we were throwing in an extra full artwork pack of choice with that bundle deal. So if you let the call center know and do that order, then just say talk to Matt. I got you. All right, color changing. I'm going to go with our pink here. So again, this is the pink to purple color change. I'm just going to go all the way across just in case. Oh, we need to adjust some. And let's get this loaded in. I use flock paper with more pressure and works like a charm. Sweet, Juanita. All right, good to go. And let's go back to, oh shoot, I closed down Design Space. Let me grab it real quick. And I need to go test. And for this test, again, I always like to put the square around it. And I always put the square around it, that way I can keep the same material on there and weed it without having to take it off the mat. Does that make sense? If I would have just put the word test, I would have had to take it off and then trim around it and whatnot. All right. Again, I just attach, come over there. What are we at size-wise? That looks good there. And let's go to make it. Now, let's see what I have preset for my settings here. So if I go to continue and let's go to browse all materials, material settings, Color Spark. I don't think I have it in here yet, because I deleted a lot of them for this live. I don't. Okay, so let's figure it out. Now, here's the way I like to figure it out. I know that the color changing vinyl is a little bit thicker, okay? But I know that it's a little, obviously thicker than the opal. Probably not as thick as, for example, the texture glitter or any of those. So I can see at HTV anything I'm set at 240. The glitter adhesive I'm at 225. Opal I'm at 135. So I'm going to say I should probably be right around, maybe the glitter adhesive. Let's try 225. Because it is a little bit thicker. Let's try 225. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom. Add new material. And this is going to be Color Spark, color changing adhesive vinyl, and save. And I said 225. Let's actually go 220. I'm thinking it's probably a little bit thinner. Good there, good there. And let's go save. Then we got Color Spark, color changing adhesive vinyl. Right there. Okay, set at 220. So if I close this down and I go to browse all materials and I search Color Spark, color changing adhesive, and done. I'm not going to do more or anything, and let's go see where we're at here. Now, just looking at it cutting here, I can see the cut lines, which is good. Shoot this out quick, and let's see what we got. Pull it from the edge here, and we are beautiful. Now, final result. Peel this off, and I can see it's almost like the one we did earlier. I can see the lines a little bit. Can you guys see the line on the E there? Right there. But it did not cut through. So I'm pretty much maxed out on what I want for my pressure for the color changing. If I went probably 5 or 10 up on pressure, it would definitely cut through. So always check the back, and that's your key to know if you're cutting through or not. Pretty sweet. All right, let me flip around here. So, where are we at likes? We got 212 likes. We got 2 mini pack giveaways. So, I said an hour and a half. Not bad. Not bad. Hour and 49 minutes. Okay, not too bad. Pretty close. But I do need to pick some winners here and get going, because I got to get Jackson to practice at 4 o'clock. All right, so let me flip the screen around here. Picking 2 mini pack winners. 2 mini pack winners here real quick. Highlighting through all of our comments here. Get your comments in real quick. And our 2 mini pack winners of choice are, can you try to use, I can't today, Trish. I'm pretty sure I have, I think we have a YouTube video. Bobby, can you see if we have a YouTube video on the monogram, the circle monogram with the Cameo? All right, picking 2 winners in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And we got Holly Jackson and Yolis Dahala. Probably pronounced incorrectly, but you won a mini pack, so we're good to go, right? All right, let me take a picture of our 2 winners here. Boom. Sweet daddy. Now, just to let you know, for all the designs and everything, okay, for all the designs and everything right now on the website, the TRW release, anytime I do these lives on Mondays and Wednesdays, the TRW release 65 coupon code is currently active. So that is 65% off all fonts and designs right now. Okay, and that I always keep it active for at least 24 hours. All right? All right, crew. Hey, again, appreciate all of you guys. Hopefully this really helped you guys with some of your different cut settings and knowing the different color spark adhesive materials and what settings to use it at, because the goal is for you to waste less material, which means more money in your pocket because you're selling more of those materials. So hopefully it really helped you out. Again, we are working on a list for you guys as well to help with this as well. But I will remember every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on YouTube, Silhouette Cameo 4 giveaway. And I will probably be, Bobby's got a link right there. Sweet Trish. Check out Bobby's link right there. Of course, I'll be live at some point. Otherwise, Jackson actually has a tournament down south this weekend where I'll be down there Saturday and Sunday all day. All-Star Training will be coming up here probably, let me see if I have a date on that one. I'm not sure if the All-Star Training will be next weekend or next week, but I will let you guys know. All right, crew. Hey, appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for stopping by for our day training today. You guys are all freaking awesome. Again, you can go back and watch the replay to see all the settings as well, but I will see you guys soon. Everybody thank Bobby for answering the questions as well. Appreciate you guys. Later.